I'm so ready. So ready. Countdown has begun. EGStrifeCro and EGAxslav representing Team Evil Geniuses against newbcake.
I like these teams with the same name.
It makes it easy.
It does. You refer to them just as a single entity. Shall I take away the introductions here, sir?
Have at it.
Alrighty, so playing for EG, we've got the team spawning in the northernmost pairing of bases here. EGAxslav playing, of course, as Terran. He's spawning in the blue. His ally will be EGStrifeCro, spawning as the red Zerg. And then in the southern two spawn locations, we've got Team newbcake featuring one newbcake who is spawning as the green Terran, and then the other newbcake who is spawning as the yellow Zerg.
Yellow Zerg.
Overlay perhaps still on, maybe?
Look, it's looking fine over here. It should be.
Okay, never mind. Someone's getting
trolled?
shushed. Yeah,
Ooh.
getting trolled. You guys out chat. You gotta. Don't be too trolly if you want me to keep tabs on that.
No, I'm just gonna leave it on just to punish them.
Put it back on. Oh man, but no early pulls or anything quite yet. Curious if we'll see some gas first openings.
Looks like we did see an extractor trick from EGStrifeCro. And a 9 Overlord, I believe, from newbcake. Well, actually, you know what? He might have just gone 10 Overlord and is now making all 3 drones at the same time. That's usually not the best thing to do because you throttle your larva. There's a point in which your hatchery isn't making any larvae, so maybe these guys truly are newbcakes. I don't know.
And it looks like 13 gas and then 14 pool coming out from EGAxslav here, and no gas quite yet for EGAxslav. But gas for newbcake, that being the Terran newbcake, also gas for the Zerb newbcake, so gas for all of the newbcakes. But no gas first opening, so it doesn't look like we'll see any reactor aliens too quick here.
Yep, no gas from the Terran. I think we did see a gas first from the yellow newbcake.
Yes.
Nothing too unusual from EGAxslav. We are confirming, yes, there was a gas first, and early speed probably going to come. He's actually got a drone. Wow, he's getting another hatchery. He had a drone right next to his other hatchery. I was wondering what the heck he was doing.
What is he going to make with that?
I
Like,
know.
you really want to make like an Evo chamber, or you like want to make that roach horn immediately? But no, I guess maybe this guy just doesn't like queens. I don't know. He's going for that second hatchery though. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, and on any other map or on many other maps, you could easily position this second hatchery at an expansion. I mean, you might as well if it's there, but not on high orbit. You do not have another base that you can really expand to safely, so he's going to choose to put that hatchery in his base. He's getting an Evo chamber. I expect speed to start any second now. He'll probably get 100 more gas for that +1 attack and just go mass ling. And EGAxslav and EGStrifeCro are going to have to respond with either Hellions or Banelings, I assume, but we are seeing just one factory right now.
This is pretty wild. Yeah, he's on 2 barracks and a factory, whereas EGStrifeCro is going right up to a lair. So I could really see these guys doing some kind of resource feeding. But of course, EGAxslav is teching right up to that factory too. So I mean, he's probably going to need a lot of gas as well. So this should be very interesting. Whereas newbcake, I mean, he's on 3 barracks now. And of course, this macro hatch, which is really going to be pretty wild. That it's actually going for +1 armor, not +1 attack.
That can be useful against Banelings. It's kind of an outside shot. You know, maybe the armor is just good for... He's not really thinking about Banelings, but it will force Banelings to 2-shot Zerglings. I don't know about that. That's really weird. I've never seen that before in a 2-on-2.
I mean, it's an essential upgrade for dealing with siege tanks. It's great for that. And I'm wondering what we're going to see from EGAxslav here. Looks like he's just building these barracks kind of to wall off. He's got a tech lab on his factory now, and he's getting a tank. So that should be pretty good. And infestation pit for EGStrifeCro. So these guys are just going for those kind of end-game super beefy units. Just kind of passive game all around here, and EGStrifeCro doing a great job with this overseer. Actually gets in and sees these 2 hatcheries, and that is like huge, like sirens are going off now. It's like danger, danger, danger.
Yeah, they've got to be expecting that mass sling. I don't know if we are going to see a Hellion switch from EGAxslav because he saw all the slings, but I know Infestors are pretty darn good against Zerglings, man. They can't one-shot Zerglings with Fungal, but they weaken them down to 1 or 2 HP, and with the tank splash or just another Fungal, that's going to do lots of damage, and I'm actually keeping an eye on EGStrifeCro's gas. I want to see, yes, he is being fed. I just saw his resource count shoot up. He is being fed gas by EGAxslav, it appears.
Very, very interesting. And also, I will mention newbcake did drop a scan on EGAxslav. They saw the infestation pits. They know exactly what's up. They're moving it across the map with a ton of lings. And there are some tanks in position. They desperately need... They've got an Overlord spotting the rocks, but they desperately need to like put a tank over there or something. I feel like what they've got on the left is relatively unpenetrable here with one tank. But that backdoor rocks, that's what could be trouble.
Yeah, they're not really working on that right now. I feel like if they knew they were going to go for this kind of one-base play, they should have thought ahead of time and maybe tried to bust those down a bit earlier. EGStrifeCro does have an Overlord scouting that out, but Marauders and Marines, they can take down those rocks pretty fast, so I don't know what they're going to do now. Those Infestors are going to be quite deadly against Bio and Zerglings, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. No medevacs, of course, to back this up. This is kind of a dedicated 3 barracks all, and this is the kind of video, this is kind of the build you see a little video on YouTube of, like, how to get out of Bronze League. Just do this build every game and attack when you have stem. Works pretty well, and it can work well in 2v2, and these rocks are getting taken out fast. We're going to need to see some nice fungals, and this is where EGStrifeCro has to decide what exactly do I want to fungal. He will land a nice one on a lot of these Marines. They'll be very weakened, but those rocks are taken out. The tank's already in a great position, though. And yeah, you're not busting into that, and look at that, another nice fungal there. Tank gets off another hit, but most of these Marauders are going to be escaping now.
Yeah, I don't know if he intentionally missed that second fungal on the Marines, or maybe he figured one fungal's enough, he doesn't have medevacs, so those Marines will be weak enough, because he did only have about 3 Infestors, so that's 3 fungals, so I feel like he just wanted to weaken them for if they moved in, and then the tanks could just one-shot them, so trying to make some efficient use of his Infestors there, and we are seeing each of them taking an expansion, and those Lings are trying to run through the front, but it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, he still needs to take this seriously, though. He's still got to, like, pull some SCVs, and he's actually pulling maybe too many, but you want to be safe here. If these Lings take out a supply debug them drastically, make things more complicated, and a nice fungal going down, and EGAxslav and EGStrifeCro are just boldly pushing straight across the map. A small amount of Marines, 3 tanks, 4 Infestors. Some of these Infestors with a lot of energy, some with not so much. And, man, these tanks, as well as a medevac to spot, this is actually... Man, this is very nice play coming out from EGStrifeCro and EGAxslav. I am actually thoroughly impressed with this.
Yeah, I feel like the Infestor Rush and Feed is a great strategy. I've used it myself in 2v2s. Now, newbcake forces up newbcake. Oh, beautiful fungal catching almost everything. All those Lings at one shot. These Marauders are getting some good blasts in on these tanks. It looks like it might be cleaned up. More Zerglings reinforcing from newbcake. And EGAxslav and EGStrifeCro, it's going to be close. Those Marauders are just such low HP, man. They were able to defeat it, but all the tanks are done. So, and he's actually transferring probes. He's bringing his drones out. What the heck is that all about?
It's a little bit bizarre. And also during that action, the expansion of newbcake did get taken out by some Lings. So EGStrifeCro has his base up, whereas his opponent does not. Both Zerg players sitting around 27 and 29 drones. But EGAxslav has a huge lead in SCVs in 37 versus 28, and they are not taking out the rocks at the gold. EGAxslav is just floating all the way over to the left side of the map there.
Yeah, and that's one thing that turtling up kind of does to you, is when you want to take out those rocks, you can't really move out. You got to wait for Infestors and map control, and it's not a huge deal, but it's got to be annoying knowing you could have taken out those rocks sometime if maybe you're a bit more aggressive, but or maybe just on the way to attacking.
Indeed.
Looks like they are applying a little bit more pressure here. A couple more tanks about ready to siege up. Just 3 Infestors from EGStrifeCro. He's got 5 Infestors and 2 Lings right now, so very scarce. His army is scarce. Not a whole lot out there.
I mean, it's very bold being aggressive, don't you think, with this few units? I mean, these Infestors, it's like, you don't want to lose these with your push. You don't want to just trade your, siege tanks and Infestors for Lings and Bio. You gotta be very careful, but they are doing a great job denying any expansions, and they are gonna start kind of pulling crazily far ahead in terms of bases.
Yeah, it's now 4 bases for Team EG against 2 bases from Team newbcake, doing a great job of denying these bases over on the southeastern side. Some Infestors being annoying for these infantry, giving that medevac a lot of work to do. And, Infestor tank incredible synergy right there. Bungle the units. They can't move. They have to stay clumped up. Keep them out of the range of the tanks, and the tanks will blast away, and they can take down even the hugest of armies quite fast. And here we go.
Taking out one of those infestors and a nice concave. Those tanks falling really fast, and the Bungles maybe not as great as they need to be. We do still have a moderately sized bio ball. We got one infestor coming to join the fray, and it looks like that he kind of whiffs on the fungal. They're only hitting one unit, but it seems to be enough. However, rallied speedlings coming in here, and that might be enough to force this attack back so that Team newbcake can secure some bases. But we got two more tanks, and actually, these tanks and these two infestors, not units you want to lose, man.
And lose them they will. The tank going down, two infestors going down, a third infestor going down. These two are working wonders off of one base apiece, but is it going to be enough? EGAxslav and EGStrifeCro can certainly rally many more units compared to these two, so if this game goes much longer, if these guys aren't able to keep the pressure up, it's going to start swaying in Team EG's favor. But right now, they're putting up a good fight. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, this is, I feel like this is the closest game we've really seen all day right here. EGAxslav, I think, is going to get or EGStrifeCro is going to kind of burst really big soon. He's getting a third macro hatch, and Link Speed is just about to finish. So he's really going to be able to make a ton of units very soon, and he's got 5 infestors right now. And newbcake has been trying to get infestors. They've got pathogen glands, but once again, 2 mining bases, very hard to get much of anything done, and this aggression just does not stop from Team EG.
EGStrifeCro losing an infestor for nothing right there. newbcake sending out a couple of infantry, saving that gold base. newbcake had the foresight to bust down the rocks, so at least they have that on EGAxslav and EGStrifeCro, but that is a huge bio army at this point in the game, considering all the fighting that's been going on. Looks like they are going to check for any additional bases from newbcake, and they will find one. That hatchery is going to go down. Is he going to cancel it? No, he does not. That's 300 minerals and a drone wasted. And if we check out the army supply, man, 52 and 81 to 134 and 79. EG taking a firm lead.
Yeah, I'm interested in these Vikings. Do you know what is spurred on the Viking production? Do you think they're... What's with the Vikings?
A misclick? I don't know. I can't imagine why he'd want those Vikings. Maybe... I mean... newbcake didn't really have any medevacs. There weren't any. I don't think they scouted anything. I really don't know. Just for fun, just for shits and giggles. And newbcake leaving the game. No GG to be had. EG takes the game 1-0 now in the series.